All right, good Shabbos, everyone. We welcome everyone here in the main sanctuary and those of you who are web streaming. We're thinking of those who follow us really from all different parts of the United States, and we're a special shout out to our cantor who is on vacation this week. I'll be on vacation next week, but we have an excellent, beautiful substitute, Karin Hochman, who is also the cantor's voice coach, and she sings in the choir and is an opera singer. So it's a lovely to have you. So thank you. So before we get started, we want to invite a future bar mitzvah student to come up, Matthew Daskell, come up with his father. All right? He's excited. All right, yeah. He has a mitzvah project that he wants to share with everybody. Here you go, David.
Thank you.
You have the loud mic. So stand right here.
Hello, my name is Matthew Daskell, and I am here to talk about my mitzvah project. My mitzvah project is donating to TRF, and what they do is they financially help families that have children with cancer. At a later date, family and friends will come down to Esports Arena at the Luxor, and the proceeds will be donated to TRF.
What does TRF stand for?
The Tyler Robinson Foundation. Thank you.
All right. So one question, David, Matthew. How do you want the congregation to support this project? What is it that you want us to do?
Everybody will receive an invitation the date that the venue is going to give us free time. Basically, the entry fees.
Okay. More information to follow. Okay, so next time he comes up, it'll be crystal clear. So more information, you're gonna make it clear, and we'll send it out via email to the congregation, and you can connect with Heather, and then everybody will know. More information to follow. You got it. All right, announcements. Ira Spector, VP of Admin. Ira, the camera's pointed this way, so come on over here. Go ahead and bring everything over here, if you would.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom to you. Well, some announcements. Preschool, as you know, is back again, and we're very happy to welcome Karin Stern to our staff as our preschool director, and she is fabulous, I'm here to tell you. And Nikki Hammonds is our assistant director. They've already started in the office. They're looking forward to getting the preschool office going this August, and please visit the website, our CNT website, to sign our interest list. And you can speak to Karin or Nikki, who will reach out to you. And as an added bonus, the first 18 students who sign up for this are going to receive a partial scholarship. So don't be the 19th. Family Fun Night started yesterday, and it was a huge hit. They'll continue every Thursday at 5:30 through August. We're going to have family playtime, songs, stories, dancing, crafts, and noshes, geared towards ages 0 to 5 and fun for the whole family. Registration is live on the CNT website, and registration for religious school is now open. Please visit the CNT website to register and for anything else you want to know about what's happening at the shul. Fridays in August are going to be back to shul time. Join us for 3 Fridays of special services and some amazing onegs. So don't forget about that. Friday, August 6th, we're going to have a micha mocha and margaritas. Sounds like a wonderful theme. And a nacho bar themed oneg. That's pretty creative and pretty interesting. Friday, August 13th, we're going to start services at the special time, write this down, 6:15. And if you love Beatles Shabbat, just wait, because we're going to have something very special. The Shabbatones are really working up to do a special greatest hits Shabbat. So don't miss it. On Friday, August 20th, join us at services to cool off from that heat and to have some delicious ice cream sundaes, which everyone loves. We're requesting registration for these Friday nights so that we may plan accordingly. Registration will be live on Monday on the CNT website. Also, remember, you're a member ambassador for CNT. All of us represent our synagogue, and we want to let people know, if you know of anyone who is shul shopping or looking for a wonderful environment to experience their spiritual Judaism, please bring them to services, let us know about CNT, and especially join us for our special August services. I thank you very much. As chairman of the COVID committee, we realize that we're in a difficult time right now. So we are strongly recommending that everyone wear their masks when they're in a group. And all we care about is keeping ourselves, our friends, our fellow congregants safe and healthy. That's what really matters. So thank you all very much. Shabbat Shalom.
So let's go ahead and close our eyes, get in the Shabbos mood. Rabbanu Shalom, Master of the Universe, as we gather here in this sacred space, as we gather at home in our sacred space, our thoughts, our minds, our hearts are devoted to Thee. So please, God, let the prayers that we utter tonight be an offering of the heart, and may it touch our very souls, so that the joy and peace of the Sabbath will be with us as a loving companion throughout the week. Let us say, Amen. We begin with Shalom Aleichem to welcome in the Sabbath angels, page 142.
Please join with me. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMelachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Malchuni LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMelachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
As we usher in the Shabbat, we turn to page 120, 121. I invite Nan Spector for the mitzvah of kindling the Shabbat lights. Nan.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find the knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take words we shall speak into our hearts and into our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. Amen.
אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו, וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת.
We continue on 125. Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished. Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time, contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world this day. On this day, Shabbat, abide. We continue on 138 as we welcome the Sabbath bride, Lecha Dodi, 138.
Please join. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. 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 שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. We all turn to welcome the Shabbat Queen. בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי כלה, בואי כלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We remain standing as we turn to 146 for the Borcha.
Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. Yalalai, lai, lai, 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 yalalai, lai, lai.
As we turn the page, this is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sisters, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brothers, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai Hamariv Aravim. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too, for its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. May be seated. On 154, we have the Ve'ahavta. So look out at you and your homes through the web stream. If you are one of our B'nai Mitzvah students or graduates, we hope that you will join with Karin in chanting the Ve'ahavta. Everyone.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלבתך בדרך ובשכבתך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
We read responsively on 157. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth.
The high heaven.
Declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work when the nations be one. Then we shall rejoice in his love. Singing. מי כמוך בלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורת עילון אוסף ערב, נורת עילות אוסף ערב, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע הים לפני משה ומרים, זירי, זירי, ענו ורמו. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם, לעולם ועד.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. So we celebrate the Sabbath by joining with Karin in V'shamru V'nei Yisrael.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם לברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם לברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם לברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם לברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם לברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם לברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם לברית עולם.
We turn to 164, 165 for the Amidah. Please rise. From the tradition, pray as if everything depended on God, but act as if everything depended on you.
Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei avotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל, אתה רב להושיע מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומטמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל.
We continue from 170 through 181. Read at your own pace, and when you complete your prayers at that time, be seated. thoughts turn now to our Misha Berach prayer. It's our prayer for hope and healing. Those of you at home, you may want to submit names without the Cantor's technology. I can't say the names, but they'll be part of our virtual congregation. But for those of you who are here, if you want to stand and say the name of someone special to you, when my eyes meet yours, please simply say the name. Think of my sister Dina. I think of Bessie, De La Miliera, Len Kurtman, Jeff Jonas, Janine DeGiulio, Howard Misley, and Bev Arnofsky. In addition to these names submitted to our office, please, Paul. So many people who we think of. We also think of those who are caregivers who give of themselves so tirelessly to minister those in need, to make sure that they are comforted and loved. And for those who struggle with matters of the heart and mind, and addiction too. Our Misha Berach is for all of these. So those who wish, please stand as we join with Karin in the Misha Berach.
Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Well, good Shabbos again, everyone. So a rabbi and a minister sit down to break bread together at Sammy's Pizza on Green Valley Parkway. Sounds like the beginning of a joke, right? No, it is the continuation of a beautiful friendship. As many of you know, for decades I've been involved in interfaith work, and I happen to be able to welcome as again a special guest, Gard Jameson, who runs our Interfaith Council of Southern Nevada, and he has brought a guest, CJ, so we are delighted to have both of you, but Gard and I have been joined at the hip for many, I hate to say it, decades now, right? Doing a lot of interfaith work, and it has been something I am very proud of, and I think has served our congregation as well. For there have been many moments over the years where the importance of standing together as an interfaith community sends the message that we are stronger together. We are one. We are on one planet. You know, we may have different ways of reaching the divine, but that sense of love that we have, it ties us together, and I love interfaith work. So one of the side benefits is that I have formed some beautiful friendships over the years. And over the years, down the street over there in Wigwam, you may have noticed Green Valley Presbyterian. And there I have a wonderful colleague, Reverend Adrian Dahl. He is a kind, gentle soul, and he leads his community with passion, good humor, and love. And when we get together, which isn't often enough, but it is a mutual admiration society. And he has been to our synagogue to observe some of our programming, such as Shabbat and the Round, and I have been invited to his church in order to talk about Judaism and to observe some of the wonderful things that they do. So it's a wonderful friendship, and I called him up. And it's because I follow him on Facebook and he follows me, and we hadn't really seen each other because of COVID. It's been like a year. It's too long. But I noticed that his father passed away. So I reached out. And I reached out again until he picked up the phone and I was able to connect with him, because he and I have often talked about one of the problems of being a pastor or a clergy person, a rabbi, a reverend. Who is the pastor to the pastor? It's a problem, right? You come to us with your problems. The last thing you want is for us to say, well, you think you got it bad. Listen to my source. Not going to work. But if you have a really good colleague, then you can talk with frankness and confidentiality and an understanding that reaches across faith traditions by nature of our professions. And we enjoy that. So after our lunch, he did me the honor of giving a sermon in which he talked about our lunch, and his theme was friendship. And he used me as the example. So I have to return the favor and talk about the lunch from a different perspective, and you'll see what I mean. So what do clergy talk about when they get together? Well, a lot of things, but I can't tell you. That would be cheating. Ha, 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 ha. We talk about you. Shh. But eventually, it gets down to that all-consuming subject for every congregational clergy, and that is, what are you going to talk about? What is your sermon? And we look for ideas, and we exchange ideas, and we started riffing, and we came up with something. I told him about my morning. This was a few days ago. So I was driving to synagogue from my home. I live in Inspirata, so it's about a 20-minute drive. And I go down Eastern, turn right, and so forth. But this time, I have to switch lanes fairly quickly on Eastern to get over to make that right turn on Sunridge. And those of you who live in that Anthem area know what I'm talking about. And I put on my blinker. You know, I'm giving him a good 15 seconds. And once you know it, the lane that I'm trying to do, the guy in that lane speeds up. Don't you hate when that happens? How many of you have had that happen? Right? You signal, I'm going to go there. Can I just kind of gently go in there? And the person says, not on my watch. I'm going to speed up and make your life miserable. And if you're going to miss your turn, oh well. Well, that's what happened to me. And it wasn't a really good way to start the morning anyways, and now this guy cut me off, and all of a sudden I see this blood pressure coming up, and I'm going, oh my God, this was such a minor thing, but road rage, I just want to cuss the guy out, honk my horn, blink my lights, and I just had to shake it off. And then he listened to my story, and he traded me with another one. Reverend Dahl said he was on a trip, and it was in the South. And he was staying at a modest hotel, but they had a breakfast. Not a great breakfast. And during COVID, I don't know if you've been to a hotel, but how they wrap everything and they serve you, but it's kind of slim pickings. So he goes in, and it's time for the breakfast, and he looks around for something to eat. You know, there's a wrapped sausage, some cold pancakes. Not very appetizing. But the server looks at him and says, can I help you, sir? And he says, well, I'm trying to find something to eat. And she understands, and she goes in the back, and she gets him a yogurt, and she gets him some fruit and some other things, maybe granola, that he can eat. And he is so appreciative, and he has his breakfast. So he goes on with his day, and then the next day comes. And the situation repeats itself, except now the server recognizes him and says, I know what I can do for you. And she goes on back, and she brings him his special breakfast. And Adrian, Reverend Dahl, says, "Oh my God, you are my angel. You don't know. I was having such a bad day, and your act of simple kindness has lifted my spirits." And she said to him, "My mama used to tell me, ain't cost nothing to be kind. Ain't cost nothing to be kind." That was the story he shared with me. Road rage, honk, honk, honk. Doesn't cost anything to be kind. So we traded these and we started to develop this sermon. I said, I'm going to make a sermon out of it, and it's going to be a contest who delivers it first, so I win, right? It's a beautiful theme. It doesn't cost anything to be kind. That's the sermon. Surely the person who wouldn't let me in when I was trying to switch lanes cost me and himself something. It cost anger. It cost disappointment. It cost a little bit out of my health as my blood pressure went. And I lost a little bit of respect for humanity because I said, what is the world filled with if they just can't give an inch so I can change lanes? Who is populating my community? A little kindness would be appreciated. There are hundreds of examples like this each and every day. We all live through it. Folks who say things that hurt us, folks that are unkind out of spite, folks who are jealous or outright mean. And don't think that all of those attitudes and actions don't cost anything. They do. In the simplest sense, it just makes the interactions between people lousy. If I'm mistreated, chances are I will take that sense of anger and I will transfer it to someone else. We've all had that experience where we've had a bad day, we come home and we yell at our spouse or our kids, and they don't know what the heck we're yelling at, but we're not yelling at them, we're yelling at something or someone totally different. Because the rage, the anger, the mistreatment, it's bottled up inside us, and it takes something. It costs something. And it takes something from us as well. Well, guess what? In the biggest sense of the word, it can destroy an entire society. Unless you think it's rabbinic hyperbole, I call your attention to July 17th, which will be Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av. According to Jewish history, the temple, our most sacred site, was destroyed on the 9th of Av, 586 BCE, and then again in 70 CE, it was destroyed a second time. And if you look at Jewish history, terrible things have happened on the 9th of Av. It's like that day is cursed. So the rabbi said, why did the temple get destroyed? You would think, well, because the Babylonians were a stronger army or the Romans were an incredible force. But that's not what they said. They said that the temple was destroyed because of sinat chinam, baseless hatred of one Jew for the other. The society was destroyed because the citizens stopped caring for one another. They turned on each other. They were divided politically, spiritually. Acts of kindness were far from their thoughts. What was close to their thoughts was how they could get the other person, how they could disagree with the other person, not how they could collaborate to make the society stronger. We need to do something about the river. It's getting dirty. You're making too much of it. We've been having that river forever, and the river becomes polluted. The walls, they're starting to crumble. We need to fortify them. It's okay. We need the money for other things. They couldn't agree with anything except on their hatred. And because they were disunited, their society was susceptible for destruction by the first enemy that could sense their weakness and attack them. But first, before they would fall by an attack from the outside, they were weakened by an attack from the inside, the attack on their very soul. It costs nothing to be kind. Now, one of the traditions we have in our interfaith work, GARD organizes this, the Mayor's Prayer Initiative. It's one of our fundraisers, but we get the mayors together and we say a few prayers and we celebrate citizenry, and it's been going on for a long time, not just here, but in many communities. But Mujahid Ramadan, an imam, and I, we say we're brothers from another mother, and that's our little shtick, and we've been doing this for years. And we read a poem, and I'm going to share the poem that we read because I think it ties into the sermon. It is called The Cold Within. If you haven't heard it, it's by James Kinney. And listen to these powerful words. 6 humans trapped by happenstance in bleak and bitter cold. Each one possessed a stick of wood, or so the story's told. Their dying fire in need of logs, the first man held his back. For the faces round the fire, he noticed one was black. The next man looking across the way saw one not of his church and couldn't bring himself to give the fire his stick of birch. The third one sat in tattered clothes. He gave his coat a hitch. Why should his log be put to use to warm the idle rich? The rich man just sat back and thought of the wealth he had in store and how to keep what he had earned from the lazy, shiftless poor. The black man's face bespoke revenge as the fire passed from his sight, for all he saw in his stick of wood was a chance to spite the white. The last man of this forlorn group did not accept for gain. Giving only to those who gave was how he played the game. Their logs held tight in death's still hands was proof of human sin. They didn't die from the cold without. They died from the cold within. It doesn't cost anything to be kind. We all go through hard times. Every one of us. Sometimes we need a caring ear, and in return we get someone else telling us about their problems. Sometimes we need someone to send us a simple text, thinking of you. Doesn't happen. Sometimes it's a phone call or a card or a sincere invitation to have that lunch or cup of coffee. How many times do folks say, hey, let's get together. We got to do that sometime. But they don't take out their calendars and say, let's make it happen. Let's be kind to one another. Sincerely kind. Let's be compassionate as a community. Let's not look at the problems and say, they can't be solved. It's someone else's fault. They're shifty and lazy. Human beings need our love, need our respect, need our compassion, need our kindness. So think about the people you care about and how you express that care. Think about people who could use your simple act of kindness. Folks who you know and love, and even those you don't. The bank teller, the grocery store bagger, the nail lady, the neighbor who you don't really know. I guarantee you they have their bag of woes. Maybe you don't want to get too entangled, but get out of yourself. reach out your heart and listen to someone, sometimes that's enough, because it doesn't cost anything to be kind. A rabbi and minister sat down for lunch and had a joke, the continuation of a beautiful friendship. I am truly blessed. Shabbat Shalom.
So I talked to Rabbi, and because this is Shabbat Chazon, the Shabbat before Tisha B'Av, which is such a somber and important moment, I thought about Psalm 34, and it says, "Who is the man that loves life and desires to see many days, many good days? And keep your tongue from evil and your lips from telling lies. Turn away from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it." The rabbi that really talked about this part from the psalm was the Chafetz Chaim, which is the first line is Mi Haish HaChafetz Chaim, and he did it because part of Sinat Chinam, or baseless hate, is comes from the tongue, from Leshon Hara, the evil tongue, and he published a book about the evil tongue and how to stay away from it. And this song is attributed to his legacy. So I want to sing that for you. Mi Haish Chafetz Chaim, Ohev Yamim, Ohev Yamim Lirotov, Netzor Leshon Chabira, Usefatecha Midaber Mirma, Sur Merasetov, Bakeshalom Verotfeo, Mi Haish Chafetz Chaim, Ohev Yamim, Ohev Yamim Lirotov. Hope we have Shabbat Shalom and have lots of love between us. And
We rise for the Aleinu 615.
I don't see it.
15. Is it there? That's the old prayer book. Hold on. I'll get it for you. What is it?
Okay.
What is it? Page? 386. No. Let's just do it.
עלינו לשבח אדון הכל,
לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצון, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים
ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני ומלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו Ushmo Echad.
That was good. Please be seated. I'm saying page numbers from the old prayer book. I don't know where I'm going now. I need the cantor to call out the pages.
Me too.
Here we go for the Kaddish. 598. 598 is our Kaddish prayer. We recall those who have died in recent days and those whose yortzites are observed as well. Again, those of you watching the web stream, although we can't say the names, include them in the community so that we as a community can see the names of your loved ones. We say Kaddish for Eddie Schiff Jr., Irv Lewis, the victims in Surfside, Florida, Shirley Israel, Larry Wolf, Irvin Zaid, Maria Maya Feldman, Robert Lang, Harvey Scher, and Vivian Van Duzen. The yortzites we recall are Martin Baskow, Irving Berger, David Berkowitz, Beatrice Bernstein, Sylvia Birnbaum, Isabel Kermosin, Mildred Caruso, Robert Cohen, Sheila Cohen, Wally Cohen, Irving Devine, Maxine Edwards, Deborah Elbinger, Edith Elbinger, Lila Engelhardt, Rachel Felzeggi, Ian Flynn, Bessie Freeman, Louis Friedner, Leona Gardner, Sheila Catellis, Anna Greenspun, Esther Greason, Gabby Hababu Bayer, Elaine Harris, Gerald Kaufman, Jan Kirstner, Dorothy Collins, Sam Creation, Inez Levy, Philip Levitt, Carlos Levy, Robert H. Levy, Harvey Leicht, Molly Perlman, Ernest Rosad, Paul Solomon, Milton Schechter, Samuel Schlesinger, Betty Server, Ruth Shapiro, Esther Shore, Edward Shrimsky, David Simon, Richard Van Dusen, Kenneth Waits, Louis Winnick, Leon Winnick, Andrew Wisnowski, Bert Woolfield, and June Zoll. If you'd like to say the name of someone who was not mentioned, please stand and say their name. Paul. As we think of all these, so many others, we rise to recite Kaddish 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabah, bi'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, b'agalav izman kariv yimru amen. Yehi shmei rabah mevorach le'olam olmei maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekusha b'richu, leila min kol birchata v'shirata, Tush bechata v'nechemata, damiram bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shamayim v'chayim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'imramav, hu ya'asei shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. You may be seated. In a moment, we will do our Kiddush in Motzi. I want to thank Karin. I want to thank Heather, who's doing double duty. She's doing sound, and she's doing the web stream tech. Of course, Ricky, thank you so much. Del, our shamus, and our ushers, thank you very much. Thank you all for being here in person. We are back, everyone. No reservations. We want everyone to come back. Out of curiosity, is there anyone who is visiting who wants to introduce themselves? Don't be bashful. Anyone? Come on, CJ, you can stand. Say, there we go. And where are you from? She lives in Virginia City. How many of you have been to Virginia City? A lot of people. All right, so you get to go to her and say, do you know so-and-so? All right. Very
Well
good.
done.
Anyone else? Anyone else? No one else? You all being bashful. Well, good. All right. Well, listen, we're going to join together in the Kiddush and Motzi. Del, Karin.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן אמן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם המוציא לחם מן הארץ אמן.
In a moment, our service will conclude after our final song, and we are going to go out through the lobby. And there will be, Heather, what do we have? What do we have for our contestants today, Heather?
Behind door number 1.
All right. So again, time of COVID, are they packed to go? Is that? All right. Well, we're still in that time of COVID, but we want to give you a little bit of a nosh, a little taste of Shabbat. So again, let's join together in our final song, Oseh Shalom.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן.
Good Shabbos, everyone.
שבת שלום.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hey, Karin. Look it up. Sounds good.